Welcome to my home and to my kitchen. My name is Chanda Strozza and I'm from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Now today I'm going to be making for you an appetizer using Philadelphia cream cheese. And the appetizer that I'm making for you today are mini BLT stuffed tomatoes. So let's go ahead and get started. Now I have a very close-knit group of girlfriends and we often get together for dinners or different events, but my most favorite get-together with my girlfriends is our girls' night in, or our GNI. And everybody shows up with a new appetizer or a fun cocktail, and we stay up to the wee hours of the morning just playing games and laughing and reminiscing and enjoying good food and a couple of cocktails, and it's just some really good girlfriend bonding time. And one of my friends brought these mini BLT stuffed tomatoes and they quickly became a favorite amongst all of us girls. So you will often find them at our GNIs and they truly are one of my favorite appetizers. Now I say one of my favorite appetizers because it seems like every appetizer I try becomes one of my favorites. In fact, it was so easy for me to find an appetizer to make for you today. As I was looking through my recipe box, I pulled out all of my appetizers that used Philadelphia cream cheese. And interestingly enough, about 95 to 98% of my appetizers have Philadelphia cream cheese in them. So it's definitely one of my favorites, and those are the appetizers that I'm attracted to. So let me go ahead and show you how to core the center of our tomatoes to get all of the middle out so we can prep them for stuffing. Now, in order to determine what is going to be the base of your tomato, I find that the easiest thing to do is to take the top of your tomato, which is where the tomato comes out from the stem. So where you pull it off the stem, that is the top. You're actually going to want to use the top as your bottom, and let me show you why. When you place your tomato down, it acts as a stabilizer, and so it's really not going anywhere. But if you have it on the other side, you know, it kind of rolls around. So you want to, you're going to want to start by cutting the bottom of the tomato. All right, so I'm just going to take a small paring knife and let me show you how to cut into our tomatoes. We're going to cut around in a circle, and we're going to cut inward all the way around our tomato. Okay, and so now we're left with all of the seeds inside. And so I am going to take, does this look familiar to anybody? Yes, this is my baby spoon. My mom let me borrow it for the day, but it works perfect for these tomatoes because it fits right inside of there. And you can just go in and scoop out all of your seeds. Now, if you have a little bit of seeds left in your tomatoes, that's okay, but the more you can get out, the more stuffing you'll be able to put inside your tomatoes. Now, there's a lot of juices in these tomatoes, so what we're going to want to do is we're going to sprinkle just a little bit of salt inside each of these tomatoes, and the salt is going to help to absorb some of that tomato juice. And then we're going to want to put them upside down on a paper towel, and that is going to continue to drain the juices from those tomatoes. So I'm going to get working on the rest of our tomatoes. I actually failed to mention how many tomatoes I'm using. I have 24 cherry tomatoes that I'm going to finish on. I'll see you back in a few minutes. All right, so we have all of our tomatoes hollowed out, and they're just draining on this paper towel, but they are ready to be stuffed. So we're going to go ahead and get started on our cream cheese filling. All right, now in this bowl, we are going to add 4 ounces of softened Philadelphia cream cheese. Now this cream cheese is going to act as the binding agent for all of our ingredients, and it's going to add such great flavor and a nice creamy texture to the stuffing for our tomatoes. Now to our cream cheese, we are going to add 1/4 cup of mayonnaise, and 1/4 cup of sour cream. And we're just going to combine all of these ingredients together, and then we're going to add a few more special ingredients. Okay, so to our cream cheese mixture, we're going to want to add 1/4 cup of chopped onion. Now I've chopped these onions ahead of time. I'm also going to add 2 tablespoons of fresh parsley fresh chopped parsley. And then I'm going to add 1/4 cup of very finely diced celery. Now, if you want to use lettuce, you certainly can, but I'm using celery because I feel it holds up better. I think it just gives it that nice, fresh, crisp crunch, and so I just prefer the celery. But if you want to use lettuce, you certainly can. All right, so we're going to combine all of this, and then we are going to add our final ingredient, which outside of the Philadelphia cream cheese is my favorite to this recipe, and that is the bacon. All right, so I am just finishing cooking off the last few strips of bacon. Now I have already cooked 1 pound of bacon, and you're going to want to cook your bacon until it's nice and crispy. So let's just go ahead and take these last few strips out, and then we're going to chop them into small little pieces. We're just going to put these on a paper towel to drain some of that grease off. All right, so I'm just finishing chopping off my last few strips of bacon. Then we're going to go ahead and add this to our cream cheese mixture. Now, there are just certain things that are meant to be together, and I think bacon and cream cheese are 2 of those things. You know, I could eat a bacon and cream cheese sandwich every day. In fact, my husband and I did eat bacon and cream cheese sandwiches every day for breakfast while we were on our honeymoon last year. So I'm going to go ahead and stir our bacon into our cream cheese mixture, and then we are ready to stuff our tomatoes. Okay, so I have just finished putting our cream cheese and bacon mixture inside of my decorating bag. Now I'm using a decorating bag because I find it so much easier to stuff our tomatoes rather than getting a spoon and putting it in each individual tomatoes. This just makes the process go much quicker. And I picked up this tip at my local craft store, and I got one that has a very wide opening. And the reason why I got the wide opening is because we have all that bacon and celery inside of there. So we need to make sure that our chunkier ingredients are going to fit through the tip. So let me show you how easy it is to stuff these tomatoes with this decorating bag. We're just going to squeeze it in there, just like that. And then I've reserved a couple strips of bacon. Now we're just going to go ahead and decorate the top with a couple pieces of bacon. And then I have some parsley that I'm going to also top off as a little decoration. And so there we have our BLT stuffed tomatoes. I'm going to go ahead and work on the rest of our tomatoes, and I'll meet you back here in a minute. So our mini BLT tomatoes are ready to be served, and I'm ready to eat one. But before I do, I want to thank Philadelphia Cream Cheese for making these mini BLTs possible. Thank you. All right, so I'm ready to try one. Let me just tell you about these tomatoes. There's so many flavors going on. You have the creaminess of the cream cheese and the crisp crunch of the celery and the saltiness of the bacon paired with the sweetness of the tomato. These are so, so good. And now that I have all these tomatoes, I think I'm going to call my girlfriends and have a girls' night in. So here's to happy endings. And until next time, God bless and enjoy.